Hello, and welcome to the finals of the UNPL Spring Fling. I'm Zan, the coach of the Hydras, and I'm so excited for this battle. I gave it a little bit of time to prep, more than a lot of battles I've done recently. But just looking at Ruppy's team, there may just be not much I can do. Very good opponent. I'm really looking forward to what he brings. His team has a lot of potential surprises. If I didn't have my team, I would probably want Ruppy's team more than anyone else's. On our division, at least, I really like it. And since this is a finals game, I am going to give a little bit of an intro, kind of why we're bringing what we're bringing real quick, but I will put a timestamp down below. I'll also show the sets on screen from the PokePaste, so you'll have a little more information. Maybe it helps you if you draft in the future, gives you an idea of kind of why we're doing what we're doing, and helps you make decisions in the future. So looking at the matchup, this might be the absolute worst team to bring Regieleki against because he has a Kilowattrel, he has a Crocodile, and a lot of specially defensive Pokemon, Amoonguss, Gardevoir, even Cryogonal, and then another resistant Cyclizar. So Regieleki is just absolute hot garbage here. Flygon I really did consider, but I feel like he's going to bring a Cryogonal typing that beats Flygon, if that makes sense. Maybe Fairy or Steel. He could definitely also bring Water to help him deal with Ceruledge, Water with no item. But I do think he has to pick, and I think Cryogonal would rather deal with a Flygon than with a Ceruledge. Neither, preferably, because it's not exactly physically defensive, but in a vacuum, where it has Levitate, I think it might want to show up with that. And then other Pokemon I didn't bring, Arboliva we swept him with almost in our little meme week, so I'm leaving that off just as a... I brought it that week because normal spam did look pretty good into his team. I'm leaving it off now because we don't actually need it, and that was kind of a ruse. And then I can't think... Oh, Talonflame. Talonflame looked decent here. It just wasn't doing enough before getting KO'd, as far as I could tell when I was looking at the matchup. I just feel like it could fire off one Brave Bird, get knocked really low, fire another Brave Bird, KO itself, and that would kind of be its role. So what we're bringing is we actually have a Sash lead Ceruledge with Taunt and Destiny Bond with weak armor. We got Close Combat Bitterblade. I think that's super solid coverage into his team. I would have liked Shadow Sneak in case a Special Mon hits us, something faster hits us, we can get a little extra damage off. But if weak armor procs, then we're fine either way. Idea is hopefully KO something trying to set up rocks or taunt it, and then something else comes in to revenge us. We Destiny Bond and we trade 2 for 1. If we only trade 1 for 1, that's fine. We've got 2 Pokemon that don't set up, so we've got Electros with AV. It's about as standard as an Electros gets. It's just an amazing counter into pretty much all of his special attackers outside of Scythe Shock, Gardevoir, and we have some Fizz Def on there, so we should be okay into that as well. We've got the Primarina with Custap Berry, so I wasn't bold enough to go Quick Claw, because Quick Claw could actually screw us, because if we flip turn, and we get a Quick Claw proc, and we have to take a big hit on something that Primarina was supposed to take, that would be very bad, potentially game losing. So I would prefer the consistency of Custap. We're EV'd in a way that defensively we should be able to take 2 hits on either side, 1 boosted hit on either side, and have Custap proc, so I feel pretty good about it. And then Sneasel is actually not set up. It's Life Orb, Terra Dark with Knockoff, Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, and then Trailblaze. So I think the easiest way for him to deal with Sneasel is to sack something into it, and then revenge it with either Scarf Gardevoir or one of the faster Pokemon if they're at full health, because they are both weak to Ice. So we'll see what happens there, but I do think if we can get a Trailblaze up and outspeed all 3 of them, we could potentially be in a game-winning scenario. We don't completely need the damage boost from Swords Dance, and I don't know that we're going to find a great time to set it up with a Life Orb, so I'd prefer to just have that immediate damage, threaten knockoffs early, really start punching. And then our 2 win conditions are Cobalion, Air Balloon, Dual Stab with Taunt to stop Amoonguss from sporing us, or Empoleon from roaring us, and then we have Swords Dance. So Swords Dance, even if we get intimidated, we can take 1. This always comes in on Crocodile once, so I feel pretty good about that. If it's Scarfed and it's Scarfed into Earthquake, it doesn't pop the balloon. If it's Scarfed into Knockoff, we get a Justified boost and it can't Earthquake. And then we can knock it out back with a Close Combat. So feeling pretty good. If he's Choppleberry, he's Choppleberry, and that's something we'll just have to deal with. Finally, we have Revavroom. This was almost Scarfed, and then I realized Parting Shot with a Scarf onto Empoleon, like competitive Empoleon, and then having no way to really one-shot it could be really bad. So instead of that, I went with a Clear Amulet to prevent Intimidates. We have Shift Gear, Magnet Rise, and then Iron Head plus High Horsepower. That could be walled by Crogonal, potentially, if it is like a Haze set with Terra Water or Terra Steel. But if it is, then we'll use it more as a mid-game breaker, not a late-game win con. So yeah, we've got a lot of offense, not really any kind of health gaining, so that's a little worrying. We had some other kind of plans, so moved things around last minute. We'll see if it works. It helped before, but I don't know if it'll help now. So we'll go ahead and start searching just so I can pick the right music, and I'll let him know. Searching now, GLHF. I'm just gonna start saying GL now because I don't know. I've never been one of those people that just says HF. I guess I used to on Showdown when I'd get really salty about getting unlucky a bunch in a row. But yeah, as far as what he brings, he could really bring anything. Like, everything has a place against me, I would say. I think if I had to guess things that didn't show up, it'd be Lycanroc, Cyclozar, or Kilowattrel. Terra, Dark, Sneasel. Oh, and he brought both Terras again. Okay, not the team I expected. We can quickly rule some things out. So both Terra Caps. And a Cyclozar. Okay, no Kilowattrel's fine. No Amoonguss is actually relieving. I don't know what we're going to set up Revavroom on now. Arcanine is here. That's tough. Empoleon. No Gardevoir. Okay, I like seeing no Gardevoir actually a lot. So, based on his types, he's really weak to water. Terra Electric on Crogonal. Terra Fairy on Lycanroc. Add Electric. Let's Lycan, add Fairy. So, I mean, Iron Head is still super effective on Lycanroc, and Crogonal does kind of wall us. If it's Haze Crogonal, it does deal with Revavroom pretty well. Iron Head probably doesn't two-shot it. We will just lead with the Ceruledge. If we get intimidated, if it's lead Arcanine, we feel a little awkward because an offensive Arcanine here is pretty tough for us to deal with. I just didn't have great checks into it because it probably will be Wild Charge. If it's lead, pretty much anything else, I think we're feeling okay. Even if it's lead Arcanine, we're feeling okay because it doesn't have great ways to hit us. We can smack him back. So good luck, have fun to Ruppy. Really excited. Regardless, even if we lose this game, I feel like the semifinals game made me more than happy enough. We got super bailed by Icicle Crash flinches. So honestly, we're further than I thought we would ever be. Leads with the Cyclozar. So he could definitely knock off here. I would actually enjoy if he knocked off because that would give us weak armor. Close Combat cleanly KOs this every day of the week. So I'm not going to think too much about it. He's going to taunt me. Okay, so lead taunt set. We cannot Shadow Sneak him. If he's Sash, it's a little awkward. Not Sash, okay. Goodbye, Cyclozar. So immediately taunting me to prevent me from Swords Dancing, I suppose. The Cyclozar is gone. That's his only water resist. And that includes Terra's. Terra Electric Cryo, I guess, has a really positive matchup in a Primarina as well, just with its natural bulk, so it's something we'll have to be careful of. So what does he want to go into here? Because our Sash is still intact, so I don't mind just punching something in the face. We could also switch this out, but he has all 3 Stealth Rock setters alive, so I'd kind of just like to go ahead and use this up while we can. A little unfortunate we won't be able to get the Destiny Bond off, though. Because we are taunted, I believe, for 2 more turns. Is this the Arcanine? That looks like a dog name. Okay, it is the Arcanine. It's not Intimidate. Okay, he might have not went Intimidate because the last time I brought Adrenaline Orb. So, Arcanine. I mean, we can find out if he's max speed or not. Close Combat might two-shot. So I'm just going to go for it. It does crunch. It will knock us down to Sash, almost assuredly. It does knock us down to Sash. Can we learn anything about that? Okay, so we lose defense, gain speed. I would have loved to have Destiny Bonded here. Now, how bulky are you? Oh, Mirror Herb. We gave him a speed boost. That's really awkward. I didn't know Mirror Herb copied weak armor. That's so interesting. Okay. So he is now a +2 speed Arcanine, which is a little awkward. Because Cobalion could have been a way to revenge it. Sneasel could have definitely been a way to revenge it, and it's no longer that. So that CC'd at about half, right? Yeah, so it's not. This is a fully offensive Arcanine. We could have went for Shadow Sneak here, and it would have done, like, probably 20%, but we don't have it. Do I want to save this for the Destiny Bond later? I kind of do. If we look at Primarina... Actually, if we look at Electros... Oh no, Flare Blitz. It's 2-hit KOing. I mean, how important are either of those? Electros is just here for the ground immunity. I am going to go Primarina. I am going to save the Sash Destiny Bond. The next time he brings in a Rocker, I'm going to hard bring in Sarah Ledge. Hoping he goes for Crunch here. He does go for Crunch again. Does 44 damage. We can learn a lot from that. So, Crunch into Primarina. 44, yeah, that's max attack, which means Wild Charge. It's doing about half. And our Flip Turn is almost KOing to get him in range probably of an Ice Shard, so I am going to go for that to maintain momentum. If he wants to give up Arcanine this early into the battle, we can take it. He does Wild Charge. Flip Turn actually should KO. We're not quite in range of Custap. We're at 134. So we crit on the Flip Turn. I don't think that mattered based on how much damage he was doing. So if we are at 134 health, yeah, we're at 37, so we're actually right outside of Torrent as well. We could go back into Sarah Ledge. Cryo could finish us off, though. Could go Revavroom. That baits in Crocodile. This music is insane, by the way. It's very loud in my ears. I kind of like going Eel and just U-turning on whatever he brings in. But he has such ample opportunity to set up rocks that I do kind of just like going into Sarah Ledge, forcing him to KO me. Is that a bad play? I could also go into Malinois and force a knockoff on something. I'm okay with that, I think. Because, yeah, Sarah Ledge would just be a dead play if he goes into anything and KOs us. Looking at it now, though, Sarah Ledge only outspeeds Lycan and Empoleon at this point. So if he does set rocks, we can actually pivot Primarina in and out again. And I think we're feeling okay. Also, I noticed in the builders, at least twice, he ran 16 speed on Empoleon. So I was set to outspeed that with both Electros and Primarina. Whether that pays off or not, you know, who knows? But I kind of hope it does. I think it would be cool. So with Sneasel, we can find out if he's Scarfed Crocodile. I guess he could knock us out if he chose. Because Intimidate won't work on us. Icicle Crash actually knocks him out in return. Empoleon, I'm sure, takes a huge chunk. Yeah, it takes 60 to 75. 63 to 75. Cryo takes a huge chunk. Can't really do much to us. It is the Crook. So if he is Scarfed, is he Intimidate? He's in Moxie, which leads me to think he's Scarfed. Close Combat will one-shot us. Earthquake has a chance to one-shot us. I don't really like how weakened this is now. I think I will go into Cobalion here. This is my one-time kind of free switch. If he sets rocks, he sets rocks, and that's fine. Yeah, this is just is an odd situation there where we kind of gave up some momentum by KOing him with Flip Turn. He clicks Earthquake. Okay, we're Balloon. Lucky for us. That was actually a bold play on my part because he 100% could have clicked Close Combat there, and that would have been horrible for us. It definitely two shots. Now, assuming he is Scarfed, he has no switch here. Close Combat will cleanly knock out probably everything. So I will just click CC. And we'll see what he does. If he switches, I presume he's Scarfed. If he doesn't switch, I don't think he is. Even after a CC, so this is actually a cool calc, if he's Jolly, if we're at -1 defense, the max he's doing is 99.4. So those numbers happen to work out. I did not plan that, but I'm glad to see it. Empoleon is the switch of choice. Could be Chople. It's Chople. That makes a ton of sense. Whoa, okay. Cobalion. Oh, I crit. I'm sorry. I keep getting lucky in these games. So, with a Chople Berry, but a crit. Yeah, that okay, so it would have done 43 before, and now it's doing 65, so I don't know that that mattered. We'll just CC again. If he brings Crick back in, I can only assume he's going to click Close Combat, and I'll switch maybe into Ceruledge. I just don't want him to get a Moxie Sweep. That's really what we're trying to prevent at this point. So, Empoleon's gone. And Revavroom is really not looking great into this endgame. Does go into the Cryo. So Terra Electric is annoying. It looks like CC. Why am I seeing that CC is still KOing? I don't trust that, and I would like my balloon too much to actually allow that to happen, I think. It says CC KOs. If he's max defense, CC doesn't KO, and I feel like it would be Fizz Def into me. So I'll go Eel as a pivot. I'll probably Knock or U-turn. And the Ceruledge in the back is really only here to prevent Crook from locking into close combat and to potentially Destiny Bond on Lycanroc because we can catch it going for Sucker Punch. Otherwise, it doesn't have a whole lot of purpose here anymore. So there's the Terra, so we know that Lycanroc is not Terra now. I haven't taken a single note this game, it's been so fast-paced. Is Terra Blast, so this should do baby damage. Terra Blast, yeah. 36, 30 something. Yeah, I think it's 36 damage. So, Eel, Cryo, Terra Blast. It lines up with 60 Spidef, which is in the calc for some reason. I could Knock. I could also just go for U-turn, because I don't want him to gain any positive momentum, but also Knock would be huge to get rid of any remaining items. Iron Defense Cryogonal, okay. So Cryo is Terra Blast, Iron Defense. We got rid of Boots, which is the most useless knockoff I have ever done. I will just go for U-turn. Ice Beam. Crits, which, you know, I crit for a crit. I accept the trade. So, Terra Blast, Ice Beam. So he's Bolt Beam, almost certainly recover in the last slot. He's at +2. I feel like that knock still did a lot at +2. So what can I knock him out with at this point? Because I am all physical. Not Prima. I guess Sneasel comes in and smacks him in the face once. Terra Blast almost 2 shots me, but knockoff doesn't really do that much damage. Crash will do some damage. I think that's my best option. Other option's Cobalion, but I really don't want my balloon getting popped, so we'll just go Sneasel. Kind of a shame that I already knocked him off. I should have done this a turn sooner. I will just go for a Crash, though. I will not Terra because we'll be weak to Ice Beam, and or not weak, but we'll take more from Ice Beam than we are from Terra Blast. So I think it's not worth terrestrializing because he could actually 2-shot us with Ice Beam. This Crash, even if he's at +2 defense, should be doing like 40-odd%. So we're just playing odds once again as his Pokemon as a game. So we do land the Crash. It does do a 2-shot. We do take our Life Orb, which is fine, and he recovers once. Okay. So that's a little annoying. I think what I can do here is actually Dark Terra. I actually see that I'm doing significantly more damage with Crash once I Dark Terra. And where he didn't hit me, if he's just going to recover spam, I might as well be hitting him for more than 50% anyway. So this is a really cool set. So we'll Terra up. Terra Dark knock off is doing like 54 to 64, give or take. It's not a perfect science because I don't know his exact investment, but it seems like it's health and not defense. So I'll drop the knockoff. Love to see the Terra Captains fighting in the final. Okay, that did... Oh, he still has an item in the calc. I'm stupid. He goes for another Iron Defense. So he could get to +6 here, and it could actually just end us. So that would be horrible. So we're going to go for Crash again. May not even be a 2-shot. Gets the recover. We're in bad shape now. Because if this gets to +6, we are not really breaking it. I should have just CC'd it with Cobalion, I suppose. I had enough resources in the back to deal with Crocodile. So that might have been a massive error on my part. We'll Crash again. He's used 2 recovers now. Does Ice Beam once. Knocks us to 45 health, so we get 2 more Life Orb hits. He has to recover here. If he has to recover... I mean, this is doing nothing. I should have brought Special Eel, now that I'm looking at it. I mean, this is outsped KO'd. Primarina... I should have been AV, I suppose. Cobalion CC is going to do, like, a 4th, which is wild. I could Swords Dance once in front of it, I guess. I will just go for a knock and try to get as much damage up as I can. I'm not Swords Dance, unfortunately. Yeah, no crit, which is, you know, totally fair. It's not in our favor at all to get a crit. Does recover. We might just straight lose to this Cryo. I mean, Cobalion is taking like a 1/3 from Terra Blast, so we get double SD. If he's at +6. I will Crash. Try to get the flinch, leave him as low as possible because if he recovers here, he's going back to full anyway. We do lose our Sneasel to Life Orb, but at this point, its job was kind of done. It didn't really have much of a place here anymore, so I wish we were able to do more with it. Iron Defense Cryo is not something I anticipated. We do get the flinch, so he is at least inclined to recover in front of whatever I bring in. That has to be Cobalion. We're going to have to give up our balloon, so Eel's health is very important here, so we don't get swept by Moxie Crook in the late game. So I think my best play is to Swords Dance once, because I don't want to lower my defense any more than I have to. I should have taunted and stopped him from recovering. That was a bad play. I messed up. I am playing too fast. He's faster than me. Okay, I didn't care about Cobalion being faster than Cryo, I suppose. Which is actually a good thing, because we won't get a defense reduction right away. So if Terra Blast 3-shots us, then I can taunt, SD, close combat. Taunt, prevent healing, SD to get to +4. Close combat does about half. Or I could just close combat him twice now. I think I SD, and then I close combat again. This should be doing something like 37%. Okay, yep, just about. Let's pop our balloon. Now how do I deal with this once Cobalion goes down? We'll just go for CC. I should have just close combated it immediately. I should have thought about the resources I had left in the back because I've let him get way too bulky. Iron defenses, so now the next Terra Blast will KO me. It does do half. I don't know if he's inclined to recover here. If I'm at -1 SPDF, it doesn't look like he's KOing, but all he has to do is recover here. Actually, if I took 124, wait, only took 124. Oh, it minus 1. Yeah, so at minus 1, I'm taking a max of 157. So I think he recovers here. He does recover here, so we get to +6, and now CC will do a nice chunk. And he shouldn't KO us with the next Terra Blast. He'll be very low, but I don't know that that matters, because our way of KOing this is a Revavroom. So he does Terra Blast. This should not ever KO. Okay, 38 health. We will drop a CC, and okay, yeah, we're doing way more than he can heal. He will KO us here with Terra Blast in all likelihood. Yep. We'll CC. Does just KO us. Now it's a matter of Revavroom. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing any damage with Revavroom. I brought only physical attackers. And I assume this KO's Primarina. Yeah, easily. Yeah, I think we actually lost. Just straight up. Like, this is crazy. This is a fantastic set, honestly. I can't even be mad. Yeah, I have nothing left to KO it. It's crazy. I should just CC'd it out the gate. Obviously, seeing the damage there at +6 and +6, we know that I wouldn't have KO'd it out the gate, and I could have just knocked it out with 2 CCs. I guess I could have recovered, played a little game, but yeah, I don't have any way to beat this. I guess I go Saraledge and hope for a choke. Or I could go this, but then I'm just praying for a crit. And I have to have this for Crocodile. I mean, I have to go Revavroom. I don't have an option. It KOs Primarina and Saraledge, so my only outs are Revavroom getting 1,500 flinches in a row, or whatever my last Pokemon was, Electros getting a crit. Yeah, so you just recover. I haven't been keeping up with them, actually. I think you have like 5. You've used like 5, maybe 6. An Ironhead from Revavroom is doing all of... Oop, that's Electros. An Ironhead from Revavroom is doing all of 10%. So yeah, I suppose I just should have kept up the offensive momentum. But yeah, we just straight lose here. If I get a crit, what is that looking like? Okay, so he doesn't quite two-shot us. If I get a crit, I'm doing 67%, so that's our out. So it's now or never, Revavroom. Nope, not on that one. Terra Blast again. We live outside of a crit ourselves. I didn't run a poison move. I didn't have room for it, and I like Magnet Rise and a Crocodile. Poison move would have probably went pretty hard here. It would have done slightly more than double Ironhead. So he could definitely like recover here. That's totally acceptable play. We don't crit. He does recover here. Yeah, so we lose. I'm not going to forfeit because that's just in poor taste. I suppose our out now is Electros critting with a Drain Punch and doing half, keeping our health up. But yeah, we're not. We're not in good shape. Damn. Amazing Bring Ruffy. So when I was looking at this Cryo, I was like, oh, I can just beat it with any physical attacker. Anything two-shots it, right? Clearly not. Clearly that was a huge lapse in judgment on my part. I cared too much about Cobalions' balloon and not enough about just attacking what's in front of me, knowing that I had a massive lead. And now we're going to get 6-0'd by a Cryogonal for it. And honestly, I'm about it. I think that's super cool. Apparently, Electros just glitches out every single battlefield. So that's cool. Ice Beams doesn't do a fourth. We Drain Punch. Does nothing. We need 2 crits in a row, to be completely honest. Okay. I love that I even wasted a turn knocking it off, and it was boots anyway, so it's just completely irrelevant. At some point here, either he gets the freeze or I get the crit, but even at that point, my crit is not going to like win the game for me, because unless this goes down, we can't win. Does Ice Beam again. So we'll go down on one more. Don't get the crit. Okay. The critless Cryogonal. GG's. That's fantastic. And it's super fast too, so it must have been like max speed, max health, from what I can tell. So I planned for water, I planned for steel, I planned for a couple other types. I mentioned them in the builder earlier. I did not anticipate electric going as insane as it did against me. Congratulations, Ruffy. You totally deserve this win. I mean, we'll take being the only team in Wi-Fi that did go 6-1 in the regular season, so that was, I guess, that's our participation trophy of this league, so all good. Yeah, and there goes Eel, and there goes our last chance of winning. I guess, actually, my out would have been go into Pre-Marina on an Ice Beam, and maybe it knocks me in a Custap, and then I Custap Moonblast. We'll go into Saraledge. You know what? Let's try it. Let's just see if he allows us the ability to get the Custap. I could have done this with Eel, I guess, but the thing is, Pre-Marina against a max health Cryo is doing 30% with Moonblast, and he's never been 30% at the end of the turn. So he does go for Terra Blast, so we get KO'd anyway. I don't get to show off the tech. But honestly, this was the absolute best set to bring versus the team I brought, and I could not be more impressed. That's awesome. Yeah, GG's to Ruppy. I will be posting a video after this. I have 2 videos going up. I built something cool in Excel, and then that I wanted to share, not Excel, but in Sheets, that is open source. Anybody can use it. So you can check that video out. It should go up a day or 2 after this. It'll just be like a short, like 2-minute video. And then I will be ranking the Pokemon on my team, as I've been doing for all of our playoffs games. So I get to talk about who was good, who was bad, who we liked, who we didn't. We have a lot of Pokemon to talk about, so I hope to see you there. Those videos tend to do pretty well. So if you want to hear more commentary type videos, feel free. We lost in the best way possible, getting 6-0'd by one of my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon, Cryogonal, and I could not be more happy for Ruppy. So honestly, great game, and yeah, I hope to play you again in the future, and we'll see you in another league.